Jai Bharti, Namaskar. Today we will have a discussion on Somnath, the fall and the rise of Somnath. So, I remember the book written by a very renowned author in India, M.J. Akbar, in his book The Shade of the Sword, where he has mentioned this particular incident. So, Akbar says that Mahmud Ghazni wanted annihilation of the civilization. It was not just a military victory, because he says that one of the when the temples were desecrated or broken in Mecca, there were some 360 temples, and when they were broken, few people from Mecca took the shivling, one of the shivlings, and brought it to Somnath and established it. Now, so now you see, almost 400 years after, Mahmud Ghazni attacks Somnath, and it was not for wealth. See, the communist historians, they try to whitewash the history by saying that he came to loot the wealth. See, wealth was a bonus. It was basically a religious framed campaign. For them, it was ideological triumph or ideological victory. It was not for wealth, because that stone was taken back and broken. So you have to understand the ideology behind this. So, like M.J. Akbar discusses that the where one of the sacred stone associated with Mecca had been removed and installed at Somnath, and that was viewed as an not a good thing. It was an act of sacrilege, and therefore it was a symbolic target for the restoration of the honor, because one of those sacred stone had been taken from Mecca and installed at Somnath. So somehow the pride in Mecca was hurt because of Somnath, and that is why Ghazni attacks Somnath after 400 years. Now, this is a thing which it cannot be. See, this is it is such a it's a crucial clarification from M.J. Akbar. The mindset which works behind this, and sadly, it is still working. The mindset is still there. It is not changing. So, this destruction, when Somnath was attacked and the Shivlinga was destroyed, M.J. Akbar interpreted that a message, it was that message was given to this particular subcontinent that no sacred continuity was invulnerable. Means everything will be destroyed. And in that act, more than 40,000 temples were destroyed. For more than almost 700 years, no big temple was built in northern India. Even in southern India, temples were destroyed, but thanks to the Maratha leadership, Sambhaji went there and stopped those things. In fact, rebuilt those temples which were broken. So he rebuilt them immediately. Now, this is actually it was an attempt to fracture the psychological confidence of this Hindu civilization. So we have to understand this. India does not uh, see, but India is actually, see, it took time because see, we had our own values. Like we did not fight in the evening, in the night. We did not attack in the night. There were some set norms for war. We did not attack women, children, old, who were non-soldiers were not attacked. Huh? But the wars changed. The game of the war, the rules of the war were changed by the invaders, which was actually then replied in a similar manner by Shivaji. And then when Shivaji took the way he did, the backbone of that invasion was broken down. So, Somnath is just not a temple. It symbolizes our civilization, that how we rebuild our civilization. And when our Prime Minister said that he is planning for next 1,000 years, that means he is planning for the safeguard of Somnath for next 1,000 years. Since today is the mark almost 1,000 years of our fight, and 75 years of when Vallabhbhai Patel, our first Home Minister, he rebuilt this particular temple. So this is a symbolic representation of how this civilization has woken up to the dark truth of the invasion, and it's trying to rebuild. So Somnath was rebuilt, Ayodhya has been rebuilt, Mathura will be rebuilt, Kashi will be rebuilt, and yes, all the 40,000 temples again will be rebuilt. It has to be. See, too much of kindness is also not good. Which was there. In fact, India paid the price of giving shelter to Prophet Muhammad's grandson, who came to Raja Dahir for refuge, and he was permitted, which angered the then regime in West Asia, and then Muhammad bin Qasim was sent to attack. And sadly, all the neighboring Buddhist rulers did not support Raja Dair, who was supposed to be a Brahmin king. And then what happened? Within few years, all this Buddhist kingdom were destroyed because they had left weapons. In fact, after Kanishka till Harshvardhana, almost 400 years. Harshvardhana died in 648 AD. So, almost 400 years, this Buddhist kingdom, which after the Gupta dynasty, this Buddhist rule of Kanishka and Harshvardhana was there. It felt like anything. It was sitting duck. And in fact, the word Buddha, Buddh Parast is actually Buddha Parast. People who worship Buddha. So Buddha Parasti became Buddha Parasti. And all the idols of Bhagwan Buddha was destroyed. See, remember, our gods and our goddesses never left arms and ammunitions. Never. They always kept their bows, arrows, and all the weapons with them. But sadly, because of this thing, too much of ahimsa came into prominence and we became sitting ducks, particularly because of Harshvardhana and Kanishka also. Entire Central Asia was Buddhist. See what happened? Within few decades, everything was there, finished. But what happened to India? Because the main population over here was still Hindus, we don't believe in non-violence. Non-violence is good, but again, to save the community, to save the society, to save the dharma, violence is good. So you have to use violence and non-violence proportionally. That is Bhagavan Krishna says. So I'll stop here. The nation has to understand, we all need to understand who is the enemy and what should be done. So the word that we should understand ourselves, that is Swayambodh, and then we should also know the enemy, that is Shatrubodh. So both these bodhas are very important, both Shatrubodh and Swayambodh. Who were we and who are our enemies? And then we will find the answer. So I'll stop here. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Bharati.